You know that old saying, the empty vessel makes the loudest noise? Well, welcome to this explainer, where we're going to decode the fascinating psychology behind exactly why that is. Today, we're tackling a super compelling question. Why is the quietest person in the room very often the smartest? I mean, we've all been in situations where the loudest voices just seem to totally dominate, right? But true intelligence often operates behind the scenes. It uses silence not as a weakness, but as an incredibly powerful tool. And by the time we finish walking through these concepts today, you might just start to see yourself and the quiet people around you in a completely different light. To get started, I want you to picture a crowded, bustling office. Just imagine everyone is talking over each other, voices are raised, and people are aggressively trying to get their points across. Now contrast all of that chaotic noise with the calm, calculating nature of the one silent observer sitting off to the side. Have you ever noticed that the smartest person in the room often speaks to least? It's not because they're shy or timid or lack ideas. While everyone else is exhausting themselves, the quietest person's brain is just operating on an entirely different level. All right, let's dive into this and shatter a deeply ingrained societal myth right off the bat. We so often equate loud behavior, constant talking, and just dominating a conversation with confidence and intelligence. But the psychological reality? It's literally the exact opposite. An intelligent, quiet brain is constantly working, preferring precision way over sheer volume. So how does a highly intelligent brain actually function? Well, our source material breaks this down into a brilliant three-step framework that turns silence into a formidable intellectual strength. Step 1 is observation. That's gathering the data. Step 2 is processing, utilizing their internal cognitive engine. And Step 3 is speaking, which they treat as a strategic execution. Throughout this explainer, we're going to unpack 7 distinct psychological reasons why smart people stay silent, mapping them right onto this exact 3-part framework. Okay, let's jump straight into Phase 1, active data collection, and see exactly how silent folks gather input from the world around them. To really get this, we've got to reframe how we view silence entirely. Usually when someone pauses or goes quiet, we just assume they're hesitating. Or, maybe they just don't know the answer. But psychology tells us to look at it as an active state of data collection. Silence isn't hesitation, it is precision. It's the intentional act of keeping the intake channels wide open so the brain can absorb as much information as possible before making a move. Which brings us to the first psychological reason intelligent people stay silent. They observe first. While others are in this massive rush to share their opinions and be heard, intelligent people are doing the heavy lifting with their eyes and ears. They quietly analyze facial expressions, they read body language, and they track the flow of conversations to connect complex patterns. They're essentially mapping out the entire room and all its social dynamics before they ever utter a single word. And this perfectly highlights our next point. Highly intelligent people are simply better listeners. Think about it. You literally cannot learn anything new while your own mouth is moving. Intelligent people treat every single conversation, whether it's a casual chat in a cafe or a high-stakes corporate meeting, as a vital opportunity to gain knowledge. By staying quiet, they guarantee a constant flow of new information into their brains. So, what happens after all that data is collected? That brings us to Phase 2, the internal engine. This is the processing stage of the intelligent mind, where all that raw data is sorted, analyzed, and refined in total silence. Think of a highly intelligent person's cognitive energy like a budget during a social interaction. They are dedicating a massive 80% of their energy to listening, 15% to thinking and internal processing, and a tiny little 5% to actually speaking. They're prioritizing that internal processing over external chatting. They're managing this massive cognitive budget, and they purposefully choose to spend it where it actually counts. Which leads us directly to reason number 2, they think before speaking. While the room might be arguing or debating loudly, the quiet mind is visualizing glowing neural connections, rapidly processing multiple possibilities, outcomes, and angles. They're running simulations in their head to ensure maximum precision. By the time they actually decide on the words they want to use, those words have been rigorously tested in their internal engine. Now, here's another incredibly powerful aspect of that internal engine, and our 4th reason overall. They control their emotions. Psychology clearly shows that emotional control is directly linked to higher intelligence. Imagine a heated office argument freezing in slow motion. While everyone else is losing their temper, the highly intelligent person remains completely calm. For them, silence acts as a processing buffer. It gives them the critical seconds they need to bypass an emotional reaction, preventing unnecessary conflict and keeping their intellect firmly in the driver's seat.
And because their internal engine is so rock solid, we arrive at reason number 3. They just don't need validation. A lot of people speak simply to be noticed, right? They're seeking attention from the crowd. But smart people don't need that external approval. Picture someone smiling quietly by the window at a loud party. Their confidence stems from deep knowledge rather than applause. Because they're so secure in what they know, they absolutely do not feel the need to speak just to prove they exist to a room full of people.
Finally, after the data is collected and rigorously processed, we reach phase 3, strategic execution. This is the output stage, where we get to see exactly how and when the silent genius actually decides to finally use their voice. And this is where reason number 6 comes into play. They choose the exact right moment. Intelligent people know that timing is absolutely everything. Think of a master chess player waiting patiently, analyzing the whole board before making that one decisive winning move. They understand that speaking at the perfect strategic moment is infinitely more powerful than speaking constantly. When they finally do speak, it's not just noise, it is a carefully calculated move designed to achieve a very specific outcome. And that brings us to our final reason. They know that silence is power. Silence inherently creates a sense of mystery and gravity. Think of a calm, lone figure looking over a vast landscape. By holding back, you naturally encourage others to lean in and listen much more closely when you do decide to open your mouth. Saying less creates scarcity, and that scarcity, it makes every single word you speak exponentially more valuable to the people around you. So, let's bring this all together. While being quiet doesn't automatically make someone a genius, many highly intelligent people rely on these 7 specific reasons to navigate the world. They observe first and think before speaking. They don't need validation, they control their emotions, and they actively listen more. Ultimately, they choose the right moment because they deeply understand that silence is power. They value quiet because it gives them the space to do the deep cognitive work that loud environments just don't allow. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to challenge you to reflect on your own communication style. Which of these 7 reasons surprised you the most? And more importantly, how might you harness the quiet power of silence in your very next conversation? Next time you're in a high-stakes meeting or a heated argument, remember, sometimes the most devastatingly smart thing you can possibly say is absolutely nothing at all.